Hi, everyone. This is Coach Stephanie Wood, and I'm with my favorite colleague, Thao, Thao. And we're here at my podcast, Tap into Your Body Confidence, where entrepreneurs unite to showcase their talents. And Thao, tell everybody about one of your projects that you're working on and how they can get a hold of you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. My name is Thao, as you spell my name correctly. I come from Vietnam, and you can find me on my website, thetreasureyou.com. I'm currently working on a very big project, transform myself into a new piece, a new version. So I think that's really big enough to cover. And the treasure you is also means that. And let's hear from Stephanie. How can people find you?
Thank you, Thao. You can find me at my site. I'm there some of the time, sometimes I'm not, but it's Body Awe, BODYAWE, like an awesome.com. And Tao knows that I enjoy working with women entrepreneurs to integrate better skills, business skills into their business, but most importantly, to enhance their confidence skills. And I do this with my body knowledge system and my experience managing, owning, and creating several profitable businesses. Now, Tao and I were talking earlier in the week. Now, I don't know if you realize this by the spelling of her name, but she's all the way over there in Vietnam, and I'm over here in New Jersey. So when we are with different projects and different people, they're coming from different cultures. And at the same time, they might get a little resistance having different rituals and things that they do. Other people who are not aware of their culture might interpret it different. So you start us off, Tao. What example can you start us with?
Yeah, thank you, Steph. So I really have enjoying a lot of fun things throughout this multicultural things. I work for a multicultural international company. And so in my company, we have people coming from everywhere in the world. And we have some of the, like some situation we were in some artwork that because it was that conflict more culture, even though some kind of fun things. For example, I was asking a French woman, how old are you? And she looked at me like, you're so rude. How can you ask my age? And I'm so like, why not? Because in my Asia culture, asking someone else like age is something very normal. But then for the French, especially the French woman, they kind of sensitive for showing their age. And so that's my first lesson about not asking someone else's age when we're not very close yet. So that's something I learned from the first thing of the multicultural. And about the eating things. In Asia country, we use chopstick, and especially in my Vietnam country or in my home, I only use chopstick and spoon. I have no fork. And
You
so
have no
I have
fork?
no, I have no fork. And my friend react the same, just like you do. Because she's from Western. And so she was so surprised when I told her, I have no fork to serve you, just chopstick and the spoon. And so how can I eat? And I'm like, I have no fork, you chopstick instead. Those little things become some kind of lesson learned in memory. And now luckily I have only one single fork in my house in case I have a Western come and I have a fork to serve them. So yeah, that's some kind of fun things I'd like to share about the multicultural, like a grassroots international things. Isn't it fun? For me, it's a very memorable. Yes.
Because what I'm learning from you is some people will be resistant in learning.
Yeah.
Also, on
Mm.
the other hand, you were accommodating her. I
Mm.
mean, I would have joked with her and said, well, you could use your hands.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. You
You
have your
have your
hand.
hands. I mean, if she's really
Yeah.
hungry, she'll find a way to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but it is curious. So, but what I learned from you is that you're
Mm.
open
Yeah.
to being open to somebody else's way of doing things and not
Mm.
being judgmental, which is important. But I like the part about learning.
Mm.
I would have never thought that you didn't have forks.
Yeah. Your face showed the surprise and it's funny. Yeah. It looks fun.
I'm trying to think of another situation. Do you have another situation?
Yeah, I do have some situation, but at that time, it's another counter things. Get back to my case study. You know, do you do the nap in the like after lunch? Do you often do nap after lunch?
I do a nap like later because
Uh,
I really, yeah, but it's just my thing. I don't
mm.
think in New Jersey or United States it's a
Yeah,
common thing, maybe Mexico,
yeah.
but for you on your side,
We do. Especially in the office, like on the business environment, in my company, before we usually have a habit or can say a culture of having nap after lunch. And so it's a funny scenario. You can imagine like there's a group of Vietnamese people that pull out of their pillow and the blanket, and so they lie down on the floor. They're starting to sleep. Actually, it's a sleep. And so the Westerners, they came to my company. They work like an intern, a coworker. They look at us like, "What you guys doing?" And I just say, "A nap, a sleep after lunch." And so they look at us like, "We don't do that in our country." And so I invite them, "Let's try." And they feel like, oh, the first time they refused because they see something like as unusual, unnormal, something like a lazy things. But then actually, I invite them the second time, and they got it. They take it, like they make it, like they tried it, and then after that nap, they told me like I couldn't imagine that it's a magic because after lunch, like you have a whole morning walking, you have a lunch and you take a nap and you got the energy back. Get
yes,
ready
of
for the afternoon
course.
walking. And so they love it. And I remember a few years ago, we have like Westerners and Vietnamese people lying down on the floor together to taking the nap after lunch. It was funny, like that's really multicultural learning to each other. And so I'm happy like that, like I said, I'm open to learn everything, and it's beautiful things that we can share that.
Yeah,
How
and
about you? You have any
well,
case
before
study
we
that
go to that,
Mhm.
I'm going. I don't know why the fork thing is big in my head, but I
Okay.
would have. If I was in your home,
Mm.
I would try out the chopsticks.
Mm. Yep.
Did she try them out at least?
She tried and failed, but she's still trying. She didn't used to.
Like this, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because like using chopstick is something we learned when we was around like 5 years old in my country. And then now they're like using it like a child. It looks funny, but at least she tried. She make a try. But now I get myself a fork just to be ready whenever I have a Western coming.
You're a very
But
good
it's also
hostess.
very
You're a
funny.
very
Yeah.
good hostess. Yes.
Yes.
Well, what comes to mind for me
Mm,
is not only the multicultural, just like differences with I walk every morning and I see
mm,
people jogging I see people walking their dogs, and I'm really curious about, like, I've never walked a dog.
Oh,
Have
really?
you?
I did.
How was it?
Walk the dog. Well, actually, my parents have few dogs, and my responsibility is walk them around. And I have fun with it. Like sometimes it's hard to keep them like stay like calm when they go out and see
No, they
things.
don't. They
Yeah,
don't know English, Tal. They don't know English.
yeah,
Speak to them in a different language. Speak to them in dog language.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, it
It's
works.
fun. It's really fun.
It's really fun. And
Mm,
even I think the lesson that I'm learning is that you become inspired by the difference,
exactly.
not to be afraid of it or,
Yeah.
oh, how could you do that? Or
Mm,
be open. And that helps us with so many areas of our life.
mm,
And
yeah.
I have chopsticks in my kitchen. You know what
Oh,
chops? Yeah, I love them because they make me eat slower.
mm, yeah.
So I enjoy my food.
Mm,
Because usually I'm
yes.
like, gotta get back to work. So, what lesson would you like people to remember from our conversation?
Yeah, I would like to share that a multicultural is a beautiful thing, especially now we are become more closer thanks to the internet and like the modern life. And so we are more and more travel to different countries, meeting new people and learning from new culture. And so the more you open to it, the more you can discover for yourself.
Beautifully said. And how can people find you?
You guys can find me on my website named thetreasureyou.com. Thank you, and let's find Stephanie from her website.
Body Awe, BODYAWE, like an awesome.com. There's a few goodies on my site at no cost. And Tao, thank you for your insights. And I will see you again.
Yes, thank you. See you soon.